2023 was the first year that I achieved every single thing that I wanted to achieve. I went from sleeping on my grandmother's couch to moving into my very own apartment, got my dream job, and the most important part is that I actually created a life that I genuinely enjoy. And the best part is that I did all of this in less than 1 year, and I'm gonna tell you guys how you can do it too.
You can do it!
You don't have to wait until next year to start making changes. You don't have to wait until next month. And I figure there's no better time than now to give you the ultimate guide on how to change your life fast.
Step 1. 20/20 Vision.
I'm nearsighted in one eye, I'm farsighted in the other eye, and I have astigmatism in both eyes. But when it came to my goals, I had 20/20 vision. I knew exactly what it is that I wanted to do, and that is so important. I don't mean just sit there and say, hey, I want to make more money, I want to get in shape. What exactly do you want to do? That's not a rhetorical question. What exactly do you want to do? This is actually pretty difficult because you have to actually sit down and think about what it is that you want to do. Ask yourself important questions like, what would make me happy right now? What type of things do I enjoy? What is happening in my life that I would like to change? Am I moving towards being the person that I want to be? What goals would make sense with my current situation in life? The best way to figure out what it is that you want to do is with a combination of research and journaling. Research to get information about the world and journal to gain insights about yourself. You want to marry both of these things because research by itself is very overwhelming. You have so many resources at your fingertips with the internet, and journaling helps you narrow down the massive amounts of information that you have at your disposal. Do not rush this process. If you kind of already have an idea of what you want to do, but you just haven't taken action yet, then it might not take you as long. It might take you a couple nights, a couple days. I had absolutely no idea what I wanted to do, and it actually took me about 3 weeks to figure it out. But I'm so glad that I did, because at the end of it, I decided that I wanted to become a data analyst. I had no idea what a data analyst was. I never would have found that out if I hadn't taken the time to sit down, research, journal, and overall just be intentional about finding the right goal for myself.
Step 2. Narrow it down.
So I know that you're excited to start changing your life right now, right? You want to get a new job, you want to get a new house, you want to start making money, you want to start working out, you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to be a millionaire. But you need to focus on one main goal. And I know it sounds counterintuitive because you're thinking like, how am I gonna completely change my life by focusing on one goal? Think about people who have achieved great things in life, right? Great athletes, neurosurgeons, tech entrepreneurs. The thing that most of these people have in common is that they focused on one singular objective, and every action that they took was with that main goal in mind. Think about the greatest athletes of our generation. You have people like Serena Williams, Michael Phelps, Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was an expert in basketball. I know he played baseball too, but he excelled and is known as the greatest in the sport of basketball. Michael Phelps focused on swimming. Serena Williams, tennis. They focused on one thing. Now, I'm not saying that you have to focus on one thing for the rest of your entire life. That example just goes to show you what results being focused can get you. You may find yourself wanting to juggle multiple things. I know I want to get a job in the tech field. I want a new job, I want a new career, I want a stable income. On the other hand, I said I want to do YouTube. I've been wanting to do YouTube for a long time. I've had a YouTube channel, and I actually was doing both at one point, but I was not making significant progress in either one. It wasn't until I decided, hey, what am I gonna actually focus and put my 100% effort into? That's when I saw the most significant progress. It's also a good idea to break down your larger goal into smaller actionable steps, and these goals are called SMART goals, right? So you want your goals to be specific, measurable, actionable, relevant, and timely. So an example of a non-SMART goal, I want to type faster. But an example of a SMART goal would be increase my typing speed from 15 words per minute to 45 words per minute according to typingclub.com's word per minute test. I want to achieve this by typing for at least 5 minutes every day, and this will help me reach my goal of becoming a data analyst. I want to achieve this goal in 2 months.
Step 3. Create a roadmap.
Now we're getting to the fun part. I think this part was one of the crucial steps in actually achieving my goals, because like I said before, last year I never did anything that I said I was gonna do. I never achieved anything on my New Year's resolutions list. This step is super critical because we discover our goal and what we wanted to achieve, but now we want to create a roadmap to figure out exactly how we're gonna get there. And the roadmap doesn't have to be anything super complicated. It's really just a step-by-step guide on how you're gonna get to your main goal. I think the best way for me to explain this is to show you my actual roadmap that I created using Notion. If you haven't heard of Notion, it's just a super project management application, and you really can use it to like organize your whole entire life. Let me go ahead and take you guys to my computer so I can show you guys my roadmap. Okay, so here I have my dashboard. I also had a section that says data analyst roadmap. So just gonna go ahead and click that. So like I said, it's nothing complicated. It's just really was a place for me to kind of keep everything that was related to my goal to become a data analyst, and then just list out the steps that I needed to achieve that goal, right? As you can see here, this was like the initial paragraph. This is kind of like an objective that you would see on a resume. My plan is to take the Google Data Analytics certifications to see if I want to continue the data analytics career path. Down here is really a major part of the roadmap. Lists step by step the things that I need to do, basically kind of chronologically. Like learn how to type right here. That was the first thing that I needed to do, because I knew that if I wanted a career in data analytics or anything technical or anything where I was going to be on the computer, even just being a YouTuber, like I needed to learn how to type. Brush up on Excel knowledge, learn data analytics for Excel, learn SQL programming language. This is my action plan. This is the things that I knew that I needed to do in order to get a job in data analytics. So that's what I meant when I said data analyst roadmap. It's not anything super complicated. Think about your goal and then think about the steps that you would need to take in between getting to your goal. This roadmap is a good resource to be able to go back and make sure you know the next steps that you're going to take.
Step 4. Focus on systems and habits, not goals.
So I know I spent all this time telling you figure out what your goal is, and now I'm telling you not to focus on your goals. Just hear me out, okay? So there's a book that I read that completely changed the way that I view achieving goals. This book was called Atomic Habits by James Clear. It's a super popular book, but if you haven't read it, you definitely should, or listen to the audiobook. It completely changed my life. In this book, he talks about how small habits can make an atomic impact on your life.
If you can do 1 or 2 things a day that are going to keep working for you in the long run, man, you end up like 2 or 3 or 5 years later, and you just have this tidal wave of previous effort that is working for you.
According to James Clear, the goal is the desired outcome, and the system is the collection of daily habits that you follow. So the way I like to visualize it is kind of like a pyramid. So here's our pyramid right here. And then at the bottom, you have your habits, right? Then these habits all make up your systems. And at the very top, you have your goal. Then you're interacting with your habits and your systems the most along the way, and you don't interact with your goal every day. Goal is something in the future that you want to get to, right? But your habits and systems are basically the things you're doing now to get there. So you want to focus on that. The magic of habits are that once you create a habit, it's really automatic. You really don't have to think about it too much. You just do it, right? So that's why you want to focus on creating these habits in the beginning, so that as you go along, it's not hard. You don't want to make things harder on yourself. You actually want to try to make things easier on yourself. You have to get out of the mindset that in order to achieve the things that you want to achieve, you just have to try harder. That's just not how it works. I used to work at a gym. At the beginning of the year, membership sales skyrocketed because everybody was motivated. New year, new me. I'm going to get in shape. But as the days went by, we went from January to maybe like the middle of February. I really stopped seeing those people who signed up just at the beginning of the year. I think the downfall of most of these people is that they relied on the motivation of it being a new year, but you don't want to rely on motivation because you're not always motivated. So it's pretty unreliable, right? You have to create a system. Say you want to write a book, right? The goal is to write a book. The system is to sit down and write for at least 20 minutes a day. The goal of writing a book, this is like a monumental task. When I hear writing a book, it's a lot. But when you think about it in daily steps of just writing 20 minutes a day, then it doesn't seem so hard. And then if you actually write for 20 minutes a day, eventually you're going to get to a book. So instead of just saying you want to work out more, you want to put a system in place that reduces the friction of going to the gym. So your system may be that every night after doing your typical morning routine, you set aside some clothes so that when you get up in the morning to work out, your clothes are already out. You might even want to take it a step further. You might want to sleep in comfortable gym clothes so that when you wake up, you can just do your morning routine and head straight to the gym. In both instances, you're creating a system that reduces the frictions.
Step 4. Eat the frog.
Yes, you heard that right. Eat the frog. This refers to the simple concept of doing the most important task of your day first. Go ahead and get it out the way. Doing the most important task first is also practical because it gives you a sense of satisfaction and confidence that kind of permeates through your entire day. And with that, you end up getting a lot more done. So your schedule may not allow it, but if it does, maybe even try to wake up maybe an hour or a couple hours earlier. I just noticed that me doing things in the morning would help me stay more consistent with it.
Step 5. Find a weekly hobby.
Okay, so you know how we talked about all the other steps, like finding your goal, creating a roadmap, creating habits. Just erase all that. Just forget I said it. Just forget about it because that's what you're gonna have to do if you're burnt out. This step was super important to my longevity, and it will definitely be super important to yours because you're gonna have something to look forward to. You want it to be something that's outside of the things that you need to do, and you want it to just be something that you enjoy doing for yourself. For me, it was playing basketball. I love playing basketball. I played basketball when I was in high school, and now I do it just for fun. I don't do it to work out. I just do it for the pleasure of playing basketball. A lot of times we're so focused on doing the things that we need to do. As we get older and we're trying to get our lives together, we kind of let the things that we actually enjoy take a back seat. There's some level of sacrifice that you have to make to achieve the things that you want to achieve. You're not going to continue if you're miserable. You're going to end up being burnt out and crusty. I used to love reading fiction novels as a kid. Somehow along the way, that got lost and I just didn't do it anymore. I was that type of kid that I loved going to the library. I was the kid that read all the Twilight books and I couldn't wait to get to middle school so I can talk about it with my friends. I wondered to myself, like, why did I stop reading? So the same year that I actually achieved everything that I wanted to achieve was the same year that I rediscovered a hobby that brought me so much joy as a child.
Step 6. Change what you consume.
Think about all the content every day online, all the advertisements, all the videos, all the shorts. You got social media platforms like Instagram, TikTok, X, formerly known as Twitter. It will always be Twitter to me. Even YouTube. So much content coming at you every day. So you have to be intentional on what content you're consuming. You may want to consider going on extended breaks for maybe like a couple days or a week. Or if you don't want to go that far, you may want to consider just blocking out time in your day where you use social media. So maybe after you finish your important tasks for the day, then at the end of the day, you may have like a 30-minute to an hour window of scrolling on social media. I want to stress the fact that it's not only about how much social media you consume and how often you're on social media. Even more important is what you consume. There's so many videos out there designed to be super polarizing. They're designed to get a reaction out of you so there can be more engagement so you can stay on the social media platform for longer. You can end up going down a rabbit hole. Trust me, I've done it plenty of times. I personally started watching more self-improvement channels. Since my goal was to become a data analyst and to have a stable income, I watched a lot of videos on finance, on tech, on resume building, things that were related to my main goal. Anything that I would come across that was drama filled or it seemed like it was designed for me to get a reaction, I would just press not interested. Do not show me content like this again. The content does impact you more than you know, so don't let the algorithm choose for you. You have to be intentional.
Step 7. Prioritize a simple and consistent self-care routine.
Now, while you're developing your systems and your habits to make change quickly in less than a year, I don't want you to forget about caring for yourself. I want to emphasize having a simple and efficient routine, because you don't want to go overboard and have so many steps in your routine that it just becomes a hassle. It's just adding more stress in your life. I actually was very intentional about finding a routine for me. This might be a little overboard, but this is what worked for me, and this is how I created change, right? So I created a Notion page with my routines, and I figured out what products that I used that was the most beneficial and the most helpful for me, and I cut out everything that wasn't. I wrote down the products that worked for me, and I have super sensitive skin. Anytime that I would use something and it didn't work for me, and I would write that down and make sure not to use it. It was only cut down to the bare bones, most beneficial. Self-care is not only about the physical either. Things like scheduling breaks into your busy schedule. Self-care includes things like putting your health first, not only for aesthetic purposes, but just for the way you feel. It's essential that you have a system or a couple of habits that directly impact your health, because when you feel good, it impacts the rest of your day. Now, I'm not saying that you have to become like a hardcore runner or power lifter. You may want to start with something small, like walking every single day. That's what I did. Again, diet and exercise is not only about how you look, but how you feel, and how you feel carries over to the rest of your day, and it impacts how productive you're able to be throughout the day. All right, guys, so those are my steps to completely changing your life in less than 1 year. If you found some value in the tips in this video, make sure you comment down below. Yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.